Today is Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. We are at the Livermore Trail North trailhead across the street from Lily Pond on the Kancamagus Highway. Lily Pond is right over here. There's a pull-off here that's not paved, but pretty good sized shoulder. And then the other side has a nice wide pull-off area. Lots of parking. Nobody uses this trail hardly though, so that should never be an issue. And we're going to go up to Livermore Pass and then bushwhack over to Mount Kancamagus. There are two routes to do this. Typically, Mount Kancamagus is on the New Hampshire 100 highest, and a lot of times people cross the Kank further down and bushwhack like straight up to it. There's a water crossing, I think, when you do that though, and it just sounds like something that is done more in the winter, and I don't know. This looks like it'll be pretty good. I've seen trail reports where you can take the trail up for like 2 miles, and then it's like a mile and a half open woods whack. So I'm looking forward to that. And that is plan one for the day. We might do some other small things if it ends up being quick, which I hope it will be. It's around 9 o'clock right now. And we're about 1 3/4 miles in right now, starting our climb up to Livermore Pass. So we're going to go along here. We're going to have a little side hilling action, and we're going to be looking down into this ravine that just gets deeper and deeper. This is a little further up, so we're done with the side hilling portion and now going through the old dry washed out trail. But it's, if I recall, not very long. And then we'll be at a more gentle ascent and level, but wet. I remember it being wet. So we've only done this trail. We did it as an out and back. I think we did it last May, maybe, with the tri-pyramids. So I just remember this part being not very nice going down. I think there was actually water on it last year in the spring, and everything was really slippery. But I think it'll be okay today. It's definitely drier than it was, so that's nice. We got black flies and mosquitoes, but there's enough breeze today that they're not really giving us a problem yet. All right. Whew. I think there might be more climb like that around the corner, but maybe not. We're almost at 2 miles, which is sort of roughly where I want to turn off, I think. I have to look at my map. All right. Almost time for a bushwhack. Okay, we just started our bushwhack, and there's just a little initial uphill push when you're leaving the pass, and then it's kind of gentle and wide open. Look at this. This is awesome. And I think it's going to be like maybe 1.5 miles or less. If you look on a map, there's a bump, like a little sub-peak to the southeast of the summit. And we're not aiming for that, because I heard it's very thick up there. So we're aiming for the southwestern side of it. And it should be smooth going, I hope. And I also have a signal up here on Verizon. So I just got some texts that popped through. All right. Oh, this is lovely. We are right next to the little bump here, and you might be able to see maybe on my phone. We're just working our way right through there. I have slope angle turned on. Ooh, bugs are buzzing me. So it's just kind of flat now for a little bit. Very easy whacking. Love it. We're pretty close now to the summit of Mount Kancamagus. Climbing up out of the col between that southeasterly bump and the true summit. Got a little bit thicker than it had been because I shot up too high and ended up in like new growth conifer, but it wasn't anything like insane. There's lots of little herd paths up here, most of which I think are deer and moose. I've seen both droppings. Haven't really seen any moose since we got up to that little bump. Before that, there was a lot of moose. I did just see some deer droppings up here. So, pretty nice. Open. I don't have on my long sleeves, and I don't feel like I've needed them. Same thing with glasses. It's good. I am happy to have on leggings, but so this is like a herd path right here. All right, should be there shortly. We're hearing lots of helicopters today. I hope that they're just doing training runs or setting up the AMC huts or something. I've heard so many that I think it's not a rescue. But, all right. Soon we'll be there. All right, we made it up. And unfortunately, the bugs are insane right here. Mosquitoes and black flies and other flies, I think. Jeez. I have on a head net and long sleeves, which they almost never bother me enough for a head net. And as we were coming up, there was a little view out. Oh, where was it? Over here. I didn't go down to it, but I could see that there was a view out to the Kank and that little body of water right there. Let me see. I'm as zoomed in as I can go on the GoPro. Oh, wow. Look at all that. I will switch over to my phone. There's the trailhead right down there. Yeah, the trailhead is right there. I wonder if we can see our car and Lily Pond and then Mount. I'm not facing the right way. I was going to say that was Mount Huntington, but I don't think it is. All right, let me take a look, and I'll get out my phone so I can zoom in a little better. Okay, this is the little view out, and I will zoom in. We have, let me see, Greens Cliff, Mount Tremont, and Owl's Cliff. There's two right there. I think Owl's Cliff is the closer one. Kearsarge North is that out in the distance. And then Lily Pond is right there behind that tree, and the Kank is right there. There's a little closer view. All right, we're gonna beat it out of here. The bugs are crazy. We're just walking back on the trail, and we've got this eastern, what is this, an eastern tiger swallowtail that's newly emerged, and it's plumping up its wings. I think it freaked out when I took a picture because it had its wings back. Look at that. I don't know how long it takes them to fully plump up. I think it's like more than an hour. I just watched a time lapse of a Luna moth, I can't remember, I think it took hours. But we walked right over this stick on the way out today. I didn't notice it then. I wonder if it was there. It's been a couple hours since we were here, so maybe this is fresh since we've left, but this is laying right in the trail. Let me see. I'm getting a bite by a black fly right now. Got him. Oh, sorry, buddy. Where are you? There he is. Super cool. All right, we're gonna leave him be. He's right in the trail, but there's nobody else out here. Wow, I think it's like visibly bigger just in that little bit of time. Super cool. All right, so we're less than a mile from the car, and I think we're gonna have lunch and then go do some other bushwhacks over near Russell Pond Campground off of Tripoli Road. This will be about 7 miles for us. It's really easy bushwhacking. We are now over at Russell Pond. It's a fee area, $6 to park. It was unclear about whether or not they accepted White Mountain National Forest parking passes, but we drove around and found the caretakers. They said it was fine to park. There goes a little red squirrel. So we're parked down kind of right at the pond, and we're going to go up to those two red dots, which is Russell Mountain West Peak and East Peak. And as you can see, I have slope angle turned on. We're going to try to skirt our way right through that little crack right there. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. And then if we are feeling like that was super easy and short, which I don't think we will, we can go over and hit Russell Pond Peak, which is right there, which looks like it'll be an easier bushwhack. Shorter, at least. Okay, let's go give this a try. We're about a third of a mile in now. The woods have been pretty open, but quite steep. We're kind of working our way around so that we don't have to go through anything that's black on the slope angle, which is very steep. And there's a excuse me, there's like a cliff band right below the summit that looks like there's just one little tiny crack in it. So we're kind of working our way there. Okay, we've done the bulk of the climb to get to the west peak of Russell Mountain. And there's plenty of deer droppings along the way. I did not see any moose output, but I did see extremely late blooming spring beauty up in here in the call. Whew. It is humid. Less buggy than Mount Kancamagus was, though. So that's good. And this is pretty with all the ferns. Don't get me wrong, there's still bugs. They're just not as bad. All right, should be there shortly to the West Peak. And then from there, we're gonna come back along this way and go out to the East Peak of Russell Mountain. And then maybe we'll go out to Russell Pond Peak because we're here. That one looks to be significantly shorter and easier. All right. Whew. Almost there. At the canister now, but as we were coming over, I kind of went around it. There's this big piece of metal in the woods. So I don't know if they had a, something's biting me. I don't know if they had a tower out here or what. Oh yeah, there it is. It's right next to the jar, which is right there. So that was not bad. It was quite steep though, but the woods were pretty good. Right here. All right. Canister. Can you open that for me?
Yeah.
Let's see who's been up here.
You don't want this one?
No, it's not a canister.
What is it then?
I don't know. It's an old one that makes it easier to see. It's not in a bag. Nothing to sign with.
Nothing to sign.
Okay, hold this for a second.
Maybe there's a. Oh.
I think I have something to sign with. It's like a brand new book. 6-4. Thanks to whoever placed this jar. I have to dig out something to write with. Do you have anything? I think I do.
Not easy to get to. But...
Mine is also not easy to get to. All right, let's sign in. We are still up at the summit, but I just saw this little snake sunning himself right here. A little garter. He looks like he's about maybe 18 inches long. He's small. And then this obviously did have some kind of tower on it because we've got this wire cabling here. That snake, he knows we're here. But, and then the summit is right over here. All right, John has dug something out to sign with. Let's go. Okay, we're at the jar now for, what is this? East Russell Mountain. East Peak of Russell Mountain. Yep. It's completely painted, pretty easy to see. The register was placed in 2014 and it's maybe half full, although I don't even think people wrote on the back of the pages, so it's not very full. Last person to sign in on this was Chantal Gervais in the end of October last year. So people go to the other one and signed in there, even though there's no pencil there. If you're coming up, bring a utensil, writing implement to maybe leave. I don't have an extra. So we signed it, but kept our pen just in case. All right, so
we could go that way, but I want to go.
Want to get around, yeah. So we're gonna kind of head back towards the campground. Here's some moose poop. It's only the second one that I've seen. Lots and lots of deer droppings, though. We are gonna kind of take a different approach back because we don't need to backtrack or anything. And we're gonna pop out at the campground in a different spot. So, I mean, this is pure bushwhacking. There's no herd paths or anything here. And the woods were pretty good. I still have on short sleeves, although the bugs, if you stop, the bugs get you. But it hasn't been particularly thick or anything like that. All right. Next stop will be the campground. We're back at the campground now. This is parking for overflow, like if you had too many cars at your spot, I think. So that was a spot where we considered parking. But we're walking back to the car now, which we kind of decided just now. So we might have been able to get there quicker, going a different way. Maybe not.
It's not quicker. We have to walk all that part twice anyway. Okay.
So I'm at almost 2 miles right now. We just it was all pure bushwhack. So your mileage may vary and will vary, definitely.
Unless you go exactly our route.
Yes. We came down a different way from the way we went up. It was less steep. What else? Yeah, so we're going to move our car. As we were coming in on Russell Pond Road, before we got to the turn off into the campground, there was a pull out And there was also a gate, but I don't think we should park at that gate.
No.
But we can park at the pullout. I think we'll park at a pullout. And from there, we're going to whack up to Russell Pond Peak, which should be quite short, like 2/10 or quarter mile or something each way. So that's our plan. Do we turn here?
Yep.
Okay.
We don't have to, but it's faster.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just got 2 miles. Oh, boy. Bugs. All right. That was not bad. I think it was, the woods were really not bad, and there wasn't a lot of hobble bush or anything. So I think it would probably be quite doable, like all summer long. I don't think it would get overgrown, but all right. Next stop will be Russell Pond Peak. We're done. This is Russell Pond. Very nice. There's one picnic table here, a couple bathrooms, parking for, I don't know how many, 12 maybe more. Does have a fee. And it has a boat launch right next to me, not where I am here. I guess this is a swimming area maybe. Oh, you can park way more than 12 here. Okay. Because these are for boats right here, right? So there's at least 4 big spots for boats. And then like another 12 or so. All right. Now we're gonna go do Russell Pond Peak, which I think is that right there. One of those 2 bumps. All right. All right, so we drove up and are on Russell Pond Road now. Right before you get into the campground, there's a pull-off on the left-hand side as you're coming up. Here comes a car coming right now. So there's spots here for 5 cars maybe, with a view of Tecumseh right there. And this little bump right here is Hicks Mountain, which is also on the 500 highest, and a bushwhack, which we were considering doing today, but I think we're going to be bushwhacked out after this. So we're going to walk up the road a little ways and cut in, because there's a cliff band over here that we want to get beyond before we cut in. It should be short and sweet, and I think that the peak is, you can kind of see the edge of it right there through the trees. So let's go get it. Okay, we made it up. This is the canister for Russell Pond Peak. It was placed in I just looked at it, 2017? Or the book in it was from then, and it is last signed by Chantal Gervais again on 10/24/24. So it has had people up here. There were a couple sign-ins on the same page from last fall, so just hasn't had anyone yet this year. What would I say? It was a little over half a mile for us, including the road walk, because we parked kind of a little bit down from it. And this has a lot more hobble bush on it than the other 2 bushwhacks. So that means it will get harder as the season progresses. But overall, not a lot of elevation gain on it, so that's nice. And what else? Like no weird cliff bands or anything, as long as you kind of stay following the 354 feet of gain, yeah. Including the road, and the road had gain on it. So easy. There are some blowdowns like this, which is a pain to work around. No herd paths out here. A little bit of deer activity. And that's it. Russell Pond Peak. Should be a little over a mile for us today. So that was good, I would say. We kind of did like the easiest to the hardest, maybe. Like this is kind of a little more annoying even than the west peak of Russell Mountain was, even though that had a lot of steepness. I thought Kancamagus was the easiest one. But that could be because that's like on the 100 highest and way more people go out to that. And also, it had a lot of moose activity, so there was just plenty of pathways to take. So, all right. Oh, buggy day in the woods, but feeling pretty good that we were able to accomplish so much. Tomorrow we're gonna hike again. Don't know, not sure what we'll do, but any day is a good day. Whew, almost just wiped out on some muddy leaves. All right, okay, we're almost back to the car now. I can't believe there's someone parked next to us. It should be, I'm at 1.1 right now. John's slightly shorter. We did take different routes, kind of parallel whacking around up there, so it's never going to be the same on a bushwhack, but roughly a mile. And I am ready to be done. That was good.